G'day, friends and fans. As they hit the wall, they're screaming. They're accusing you of making them single. They say you don't live up to expectations. It's your fault. But increasingly, men are happy with the way things are. And the women, they cannot stand it. They are screeching. They're going to TikTok and making videos on how disappointing men are. And they're crying. And men are responding with, too bad, so sad. But increasingly, right, women are proving why men are walking away with ludicrous claims that you have to date trans and you have to wear makeup and perfume and, well, many women have actually expressed concern or confusion, right? They don't even understand why men are going their own way. What do you mean you're going your own way? You need us. Without us, you can't make a sandwich. But the narrative that men, right, made them single, well, that tension generally stems from a mismatch of reality with their ever increasingly expectations that they deserve to be a kept woman, but at the same time they're a kept woman. You take care of all their bills. Yet at the same time they're strong and independent women, and they have their own money, and they go out and night after night, and come back increasingly later and later, increasingly drunk, increasingly smelling, and they're increasingly fatigued, they're increasingly disinterested in the relationship, and then you wonder why men don't want anything to do with them. But the female perspective of this world has been very confused for a long time. Women do not know their place in the world anymore. They are confused. Every time a relationship doesn't go exactly according to plan, they abandon it. And for decades of women striving for independence and basically said, well, we want our independence and our equality, but men to home and in the workplace. Well, when men gave it to them, they're now confused. They don't know what to do with themselves, right? So they increasingly making up new benchmarks, right? They now want you to, they're now complaining that, well, who's going to take care of us when we have babies? So they says, well, this is the thing. You went out and burnt coal with Tyrone. We're not taking care of your babies, And they say, no, well, then they go out and complain that conservative men hate children. No, we hate you. Okay, don't you get it yet? You have expressed so much hatred, right? You have bullied, you have, and then hidden behind the protection of government and other white knights who will defend you right here, but you have no honour, right? So critics of MGTOW saying that men are just withdrawing for attention and they want to punish women for not being bootlickers, while others are saying that it's more practical, right? That men in positions of power add the risk and say, no, I have seen too many false accusations, I've had too many false accusations, or simply the women who come their way are damaged goods with previous track records of rising to the top suddenly and then walking away from that company with golden parachutes. And they see them at their door and they're going, no, we're not hiring, And so, yes, increasingly men are not seeing divorced women as strong as independent, but as financially motivated gold diggers. Just that the amount of gold is less doesn't mean they're gold diggers nonetheless. But women are increasingly proving why men go their own way, right? The economy, right? The economy of a relationship is not 50-50. It is not. Women do not want equality at home. They want to be taken care of at home. They do not want to share responsibilities. They want someone to share their workload, not his workload. So you do your half and then half of hers to show that you care, right? So financial independence, again, more women are saying my money is my money and your money is my money. So you pay half the bills and then you pay half of her bills to show that you care. Well, that's not so. Women are neither equality. Women do not believe in equality at the home. They do not equality in a relationship. Women are increasingly never in the mood, and when they're in the mood, when you're not around, you notice missing jars of peanut butter, the amount of discarded batteries around the place. You notice increasingly that she's going out with and replacing her underwear at incredible rates, and then and of course increasingly the number of men who are reporting that many women are hostile, intolerant, and they only give you low effort relationships, and that men would rather be single than dealing with a 30-year-old toddler, right? Who increasingly has no interest in doing any work because they're only living. And of course, if you don't live up to expectations, sexually, financially, intellectually, you have to sit there. You can't play video games. That's childish. And then they go, I'm going to my room to read a book, and then you hear, who's childish, right? And now, of course, you have women who want to ban all forms of male entertainment as sexist and racist and homophobe and all the other isms that they come up with to try to control you. Ultimately, a lot of it is shit testing to see how much shit you put up with. But look at their face. You're going to put up any shit from a 3? But increasingly, they only view life through the lens of sexual currency, right? So as men get older, their sexual currency goes up while women's goes down. But some men are increasingly batshit crazy because they've been feminized. So despite MGTOW's stated motivations, women can't understand why men are happy without them. Now, men's movement is based on risk management. Men have assessed the risks and say, you want to be stunning and brave and you're strong and independent. Yeah. There's a sperm bank. There's the battery shop. There's the unemployment agency. Goodbye. And they just don't get it, right? Legally, the government does not protect your property rights, right? you're married to someone, they could take all your stuff and leave, and the government won't protect you, right? But it's not just that. The government will actually encourage them to steal from you and sell off all your stuff, because the government is increasingly dependent on the economy, not you, right? You mean nothing to the government. You're a number on a spreadsheet, and your number value is low. Women's number is high. You have increasingly predatory divorce laws, increasingly predatory activities like paternity fraud, and countries now moving to protect them, right? You know a country is failing when they have to pass more and more laws, right? And of course, it's not just the loss of assets or child custody, it's your children being turned against you, right? Parental isolation. Men prioritizing peace. It's easier, cheaper, and in the long run, you don't have to go through the hoops and hurdles of modern dating, where most men, it's not the nose, right? Men don't care about rejection, right? Oh, a 3 rejected me. Who cares? I'm going to find a 4, right? Yeah. Or even the 3. The 3 may be 3 in looks, but 10 in personality. Like, that's a win, right? Because they know that those appearances aren't going to last, right? A woman may start as 10, but they're not going to last, right? The looks, actually, a lot of men are ditching high maintenance women, you know. And what's a high maintenance woman? Well, the more makeup, right? That means they're expensive, right? Straight from the bat, right? So, the hoops and hurdles of modern dating, right? You have to woo them into dating. You have to entertain them. You have to be fascinated by every episode of Downton Abbey, every sob story. You have to remember all the names of all their childhood pets. You have to know their favorite furry gifts. You have to. Women are increasingly obsessed with plushy toys. Oh no, but you can't play a video game because that's childish, right? No, the Barbie doll collections, and you have to go watch the Barbie movie with them and sing the Barbie song. You have to know their favorite songs, and then you find out they've got an enormous body count and OnlyFans, and that they're only testing the waters, again to see, either too aggressive, and then they'll say, oh no, you just weren't aggressive enough. You didn't pursue me enough, right? So their idea of aggression, by the way, is you, and by you asserting yourself, is you doing more to please them. Everything is about them. So men, right, see the prioritize peace, right? The hoops and hurdles are not worth the emotional, physical, or financial investment, right? It is, you're going to invest $1 million in Microsoft stock or $1 million in a woman. Microsoft stock will go down, but it might one day come back up. Whereas a woman, her value only goes down as she gets older, right? Bill Gates won't be alive forever. When he dies, Microsoft stock will dip with a massive dump of stock, right? Melinda Gates and selling off her stock, that's cheapening the stock as well. But eventually the people at the company, are going to stop this, the Indianization of companies, where every company now has an Indian CEO. India's going to be torn apart, broken up, they're going to increasingly be, it's going to take a long time, 75 years to get rid of China, India's next, right? So, ultimately, right, men are looking at everything as an investment, and that just ain't worth it, right? Let the, and the majority of the world is like this now, where once upon a time, white women, I could go to Eastern Europe, or I could, no, Eastern Europe, all those single mothers from Ukraine who watch American dramas all day. Whoa! They watch anybody who knows what American Gladiator is. Whoop! You're single, future single mother, right there. But no, increasingly, men are.
Right turn, Clyde.
So, yes, and so, women wonder why men are happier without them. And ultimately, the only reason why women did any of this for the last 35 years, believe it or not, has nothing to do with rights. It was always about the money and their boredom. Everything was for shits and giggles, everyone. They destroyed civilization because they were bored. And the governments destroyed civilization because they wanted cheap labour. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Please support the channel. You support me on GoFi, Patreon. Only $1. $1 a month, please. Over at RPG Patreon at Future Fantasy. Buy my books, buy merch. I appreciate each and every one of you. You can find me at a number of places, but all my links are in the link tree. So all my books, all my merch, so all my social media. So you can definitely find me. So thank you to all those who follow me, support the channel. Really appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video, and bye for now.